Hey guys, this is going to be the long form video to my short video, the frequently asked questions. How do I make my kid more aggressive? In the shorthand video, I told a little bit of a white lie. We'll get into that. First off, I think when people talk about how do I make my kid more aggressive, what they're kind of talking about is you get two little guys that come in here and they start rumbling, and one, so he'll concede. It's getting a little rough and he'll concede and he'll roll to his back and get pinned. I think that's what people are actually talking about. I said that aggression in a kid does not come naturally. I believe that wholeheartedly, and we'll get into that here in a second. That other thing of just, hey, I'm not going to let this guy beat me, that's not necessarily aggression. Some kids, and this I do think is natural, some kids or people, they just have this thing inside of them they don't want to lose, okay? That's vastly different than aggressive or trying to just naturally coming in here and trying to hurt someone. But everybody's got a different variation of winning and losing and what they're willing to concede and how hard they're willing to go before they concede. I've had some kids walk in the door that a stiff breeze that blew them over on the way in. They would have laid there and died had I not went out there and picked them up and dusted them off and said, hey, if you just come inside, the wind's not blowing. And then you got some kids that, it could have been a tornado out there and it wouldn't have knocked them down. That's different from that aggression, It's just a little bit of verbiage, a little bit of, just a little difference in what my vocabulary is and theirs, and in a sporting and life sense, okay? So let's get into, I'm gonna break this down into kind of a couple boxes here. My white lie, you absolutely, I said you couldn't coach aggression. You absolutely can, absolutely can. That was where my white lie came in. I've seen it happen a million times. Let me kind of break it down for you like this. The way that people coach more aggression into a kid, I liken it, it's akin to dog fighting, okay? You have this kid, the priority is on wins, all the love and adoration and the shine and the attaboys and the social media posts, which is we didn't have to worry about back in the day, but we do now. All of that comes with a win. When that kid or person loses, the coach will pull the rug out from under that. No love, no adoration, no social media shine, no attaboys. They may walk off the mat. Afterwards, they're screaming at the kid. Just real quick, if that's your style of coaching, if that's what you're looking for, unfollow me. Leave, don't talk to me in public. I would rather strangle you unconscious every time I see you than talk to you for the rest of our lives, okay? If you think that's acceptable. What happens with that? This is why it's akin to dogfighting to me. That kid or that young adult or that person, they start to see themselves in a different light. They're good and loved and amazing when they're winning. And when they lose, they're trash and they're worthless and they're garbage. And wrestling has a really dark spot on it. You see this a lot. I've seen, that leads to, hey, you won, you're amazing, this and that, to you lose, hey, you don't get pizza for lunch at the tournament. You don't get to eat lunch because you wrestled bad. You don't get that Christmas present because you wrestled bad. You don't get to eat lunch today, dinner tonight, and breakfast tomorrow because the next day we're gonna wrestle at a lower weight class because you stink. That creates something in a young adult and a kid. Again, this isn't what I think. This isn't a theory. This is what I've seen with my eyes. Since 1999, my first season of wrestling, I saw kids around me this happening to them, not in my program and other programs. Okay, so you can coach aggression into a kid. We've already discussed, stay away from me if you think that's acceptable. So the other thing that adds into play in a scenario like that, a really good coach told me a long time ago, you can't fight home life. You're with these kids a small amount of time. We talked just a little bit about it in the short, and I'm not going to get into it. We live in a poverty-stricken part of America. There's people around here and kids around here that have home lives from nuclear family, beaver cleaver type thing, to the most terrible thing you could ever imagine. Okay, that's life. It's unfortunate. That's life. I've also seen kids come in tough as a $2 steak and aggressive that come from those situations. Again, the really good coach, you can't fight home life. So we've got two ways to get an aggressive kid: terrible coaching and a home life that's not nuclear family style. Okay. The system that I like to think I promote, and I've been trying to promote, especially since I came back to coaching around 2000, I think it was 2012, 2013, the confidence model, where you build up a kid. You know, we don't run them out the door because they don't win matches. We look for the important things. Was there effort? Is there a consistency to their effort? Is there a consistency to their practice time? Is there a consistency in their life in the sport? Hard work, the ability to try and work hard. I mean, they may not be good at wrestling at first, but they're trying really hard to work hard. That's an important thing. Finding wins in the losses, building that confidence to build that kid up. Okay, that's the style that I preach. With that style, we can combat that feeling of I'm not good enough and I stink and I'm worthless. We can battle that. And we're working through that. We can battle against those coaches and parents that think that the dogfighting style is okay. The big thing, their home life. Kids cannot change their home life, okay? But if we can help even a little bitty bit, sorry guys, even a little bitty bit, start to help build their confidence, that kid that we can build their confidence a little bit here, hopefully they can take those tools into that home life and help weather the storm. You know, weathering that storm is sometimes all they can do. Sometimes their home life gets better, sometimes it doesn't. But if you got a little guy or gal that you're telling every day, hey, you did great effort. I'm glad you didn't miss practice today. I'm glad you did this. I'm glad you did this. Let's work a little bit here. That kid going out into that world is going to be able to, it's a little bit of a safeguard, a little bit of a raincoat, a little bit of armor for their heart, Think about it like this. That other kid that's getting beat down in the room every time they lose a match, or beat down in the match, or the one person that's, their home life's wild over here and you got one person outside of their home life, if that person's trashing them all day too, how do you think they're going to deal with what they already got going on that they can't change? Okay. I've seen a lot of youth programs. I've seen a lot of bad ones. You can spot that stuff pretty easily. You can spot that stuff by maybe it's the same coach, but they've moved towns every 2 to 5 years for their whole coaching career. That's a good sign. can spot those guys when their kid's losing. It's the ref's fault. It's this person's fault. This kid's bigger. They're a dummy and they leave the mat. That's a good sign. You can also spot at youth how many of their youth wrestlers don't make it to high school. Unfortunately, maybe not even make it through high school. It's a good sign, okay? Wow, he was a national champ at 6 years old. I haven't seen him on the high school roster. Oh, well, that coach is this and that. He doesn't wrestle anymore. That's a sign. Okay, back to the main point. It's just a wordage. It's not aggressive they're looking for. It's how do I make my kid not concede? I battle that. Just give them a little confidence and they'll start saying, hey, I don't think I'm going to lose to this guy today. Dogfighting style coaches, which too many parents subscribe to and pay a lot of money to do, and it's all across all sports. And I hate you if you're into that. That's your box. You got my style, where I want to build confidence in a kid or a person so they can battle what we can't battle, the home life. I think that's all I wanted to cover. Again, I want to do these in shorts and long, so people that like to listen to me jabber can, mostly me. I think we covered it all. I think I did pretty good. This is the 10,000th take. Thank you for sticking around with me. We'll post more soon.